Okay, right. We're live. So, welcome to Coffee and Chats with Ads. Kelsey's over in the corner. And today we've got Michael Newman. So, Michael, me and you have known each other for a little while, haven't we?
Yep.
Our paths have crossed a few times over the last few years, just briefly. But Michael himself is, again, he's in behaviour change, helping clients. But yeah, Michael, just briefly, who do you work with? Who do you work with? What do you do?
So I work with mainly business executives, business owners, CEOs, entrepreneurs. I guess you call it like higher level, like business people. Mainly to help them with around their fitness, health, mental health, performance, and I've been doing that, really niching that down for probably the last 2 years now. Mainly guys that I normally get my clients from LinkedIn, but still get a few guys from Facebook through referrals and people that know me from. Been doing this a little while now.
Nice. You enjoy it?
Love it. Yeah. You know what it's like. For me, there's obviously, like anything in business, there's always ups and downs. There's parts of the business that you love more than others. Like you can't pretend you love everything in business, and anyone that does, let's be honest, they're talking BS. There's bits we don't always like as much, but I think if you can love 90% of your job, you're doing pretty well. And I'd say probably 90% of the job I love. And it's always the coaching side of things, I think, and the outcomes as well, and seeing the client's growth, which makes you love it more. So I think if you're serving people and helping people, then it's a really great place to be. And you know that better than anyone. No, it's not a bad gig to have.
No, it's not. It's not like. And that's the thing. It's like me and yourself been doing it a good few years, and it's just seeing the power in it. It's not just. So we got a fuel tanker driving past. It's not just about giving people a plan and go, right, follow this, off you go. It's just letting them explore it themselves and seeing them grow as a person as well. That's for me. That's what I like. That's what I really like about it. It's just seeing the people, the clients grow as we take them through a process.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's nice when almost like they pick up on it early. That it's like, this is a journey. Like it's really cool when a client say that back to you, like, oh, this is a journey. And almost like some people go, oh, I've learned more in the last, I don't know, even halfway through at the end, like 12 weeks about myself, where they've asked themselves questions, they've done the coaching models, and they've had to be like really introspective, and they've learned their whole life, and they're realizing that what they've managed to achieve in 12 weeks, like, what could they do next? Like, where could their work go? What relationships could they get into? Like, so for me, that's really powerful. And I'm always trying to remind my clients that it is a journey, and it's not just that 12-week period. Like, what could they be doing afterwards? So yeah, that's obviously like really, really powerful, really cool. It's interesting, isn't it? Because again, I'm sure you've had this as well. I just want to get a diet plan. That's all what to do. How many times you had that? You're like, no, it's going to be a little bit more than that.
Exactly. No, it's all good. So, like, you've been doing it for quite a while. You've helped hundreds and hundreds of guys. Like, what would you say has been like the common struggle that people face when they come to behaviour change?
I think part of it, I like that. I think part of it is you have to get their head around, because I think it's quite an old school thinking, especially for men. The women are way better at getting it, that it's not just exercise. And I think men especially just think, and I think it is quite an old school way of thinking, that like probably the generation of like our generation, maybe generation above, of you was in school, you were made to like run, you go to like boot camps where people will like beast you, like personal trainers, you know, we all used to do it. We always love giving someone a hard session when they message you the next day or make it.
Yeah.
And barely walk, you're like, yeah, brilliant. I feel like I've done my job.
Which
is probably doing your job for a personal trainer. So I think it's that shift in a mindset that I think a client needs, which obviously it's our job to educate, that it's not just exercise. It's not just absolutely beasting yourself, trying to burn as many calories as you can, leaving the gym dripping mess. It's a sign of a good workout, and that's the sign that it's going to get you results. So I think, especially talking to men and potential clients, you still get a lot of, yeah, but I'd like to see you in the gym. You're not going to be standing over me, making sure my technique's right, and that's what I need. It's like, well, how many times have you tried that before? I'm pretty sure you've done that, or you've had trainers, and you know the weight can go back on. We know it's a much bigger picture than that. So I think that's one of the fundamental shifts that a client needs, either to jump on boards, they need to see the results or speak to other clients that have got the results. But I think it is evolving a little bit now. People are way more aware of coaching, and I think they need to have maybe some shifts in the first 1 to 3 weeks where they get a few wins, and you know you get that buy-in, and they've dropped a couple of pounds. Can you hear me? Yeah. So I think you need either the buy-in at the beginning or some shifts, some wins where you've done a few tweaks to their diet, and you know they're drinking a bit more water, moving the body a bit more, lose a few pounds, and it's like the penny drops. And you know you've probably had clients say that, I have as well. Oh, I get it now. It's not just exercise, is it? No. But for me, I think that's the wrap up. Quite a long way as well. I think it's the shift that men need, especially. So I think women are so good at going, I know it's diet. I know if I change my diet, then I'll probably lose a little bit of weight. Whereas men are like, I just got to run. You know, but that's not necessarily going to work.
No,
unless
especially as well as like, especially now, like guys are working long hours. You know, so I'm speaking to some guys and they're working like 50, 60 hours a week. So if they're thinking it's just exercise, how are they going to fit that in? Because it's not just a 30, 40-minute session. It's the travelling to, it's the session, it's the showering, it's the then travelling back from. So next thing you know, it's like 2.5 hours, you know, and I think Reese is agreeing with me here. You know, she's like, she's like, it's not just the exercise. It's not just the exercise. So, you know, so how do you overcome that with clients? And like, how do you make him to realise, and how do you get the results with them? Like, what's been like, how do you get them to realise that it's not just that, you know, from their struggle, and that isn't the real reason?
As we all know, questions are the answers from Mr. Drummond. Always taught us that. So I think it's the right questioning that gets them to see that it's not just about exercise. The way we do that, of course, is when we obviously put it into our marketing. Videos like this or lives when we talk about the things to look for, like the habits, the lifestyle, like reducing stress, making sure you're sleeping well, because you know, unless you're getting those in the right place, you're not going to eat well because you're stressed, you're tired. You're not going to eat well. You're not going to even want to prioritize looking for time to exercise or sort your health out because you're tired and stressed, and you're doing 50 to 60 hours a week. So I think questions are the answers, and getting potential clients or just your audience to see that if you break it down, and I actually did a post, it was a year ago. So Facebook Memories really helps with the marketing, by the way. So it's like, well, you could go out and you could do a 45-minute hour gym session or run or anything like that. And what an average man would burn, 500 calories? Let's just make that quick maths. It's 2 beers. So when I say that to a client, they go, so I've gone in the gym for an hour, out of my way, got my gym stuff, had a really hard session, feeling really good. But we all know, like Thursday night in London, on Thursdays, you have 2 beers after work, that hour session's gone. It's gone in 2 beers, which would be what? Half an hour.
That's also why people always not always. That's why a lot of people actually gain weight when they start exercising, because in their mind they're like, oh, I can, I've done that workout. Yeah, I've gone and burned. It says you burn 1,000 calories in the marketing, when in fact that's not necessarily true. And then they get hungry because they've now expended energy that they probably weren't doing before. So in their mind, they're like, oh, I can eat more. But then also they go, oh yeah, but I'm eating healthy. But you can still overconsume on healthy food, which is then, with a surplus, going to then make them gain weight. And we all know,
100%.
as you know as well, with clients, is that they always overestimate. Like if they're tracking as well, they overestimate what they're doing exercise-wise, and they underestimate what they're consuming.
Yeah.
So next thing you know is that it's counteractive. And then 9 times out of 10, they're then going to be like either staying where they are with their weight, or they're actually gaining weight. When they
There's actually a study on that. There was a study, I don't know, I think it was like a couple of years ago, and they followed, I think there was a group of dietitians and nutritionists. So people that you'd think would be really accurate at tracking their exercise and tracking their calories. I wish we could find a study because it'd be really interesting to put in, but they've done this study and basically they followed about 100 nutritionists and dietitians, and they got them to track their calories. I think it was like over 2 weeks, track their calories and exercise. And they underreported by about 30% exercise calories, underreported. So every day they're having an extra 30% more calories. And these are the people that should be the best at it, dietitians and nutritionists, right? And they overestimated, I think it was about, again, 20 to 30% of the exercise. So you're looking at like a 50% differential. And that's the people that are supposed to be doing it, like dietitians and nutritionists. So if you're not an average person, but if you're just a normal person who's never really tracked before, it's going to be really difficult.
It's going to be even bigger.
Yeah, it's easy. We all do it. Like I've been tracking for a year, and I know sometimes I can reflect and there'll be little bits missed. Like, I don't know, I popped out for a walk and I decided to have a coffee. It's easy done. That little bit of, I don't know, little bit
It's
of
not that.
like you pick up out of the fridge.
Yeah, it's like where I'm sat at the minute, right, in down at the harbour in Paphos. I come to this coffee shop and I always have the same coffee, but they always bring these 2 little biscuits with the coffee. And I'm just like you don't think about it, but they're homemade biscuits as well. So, they taste amazing, but because they taste amazing, we know that it's going to be higher calories than that. I don't think about that. I just eat them.
It's really difficult. It's really difficult, especially in circumstances like that, and also like things like talking about a coffee. Like, you have a coffee, but I'll have an iced coffee, and maybe they put like a little bit of like extra cream in it or a little bit of sauce in it, and you just put it iced coffee. So it's easy done. It's really hard to completely accurately track. But with that said, if you can, I think it's like massively beneficial. Like massively, education-wise, control-wise, it's really, really important.
But that's the thing as well. Like, it's not about being completely anal with it. It's got to be. It's got, again, the key is sustainable, isn't it? It's got to be sustainable. So it's doing something that's going to be able to, just bring awareness to it. That is what we want, is that we want to be able to bring awareness to it. So it's not about getting them to, be tracking every single thing for the rest of their life. It's got to be them bringing awareness to it. So then in about 3, 4, 5, 6 months, a year down the line, they go, oh yeah, I remember this. I might get more understanding now. So then they don't have to track. And then they can then go back to like a normal life, I don't know how you base your programs, but for me, it's about just bringing awareness to clients and what their behaviours and their habits are, and then what they're doing. So then in the future, they're going to, okay, I know what I'm doing now. I know that I should be going for, I should be going for like the poached eggs instead of the fried eggs. That sort of thing.
100%.
Bringing that awareness to the table.
That word there is the key as well. Awareness, and again, that's I think that's what we noticed in the first few weeks, especially when you get a client to do a 2 or 3 day food plan. That sometimes can be really eye-opening once you start taking pictures and then you actually look through it all, and that raises the awareness. And at the end of the day, we don't get educated on this in school. You have to go out your way to learn these things. So if you've never tracked before, if you've never had an awareness of a certain amount of calories in food, which is understandable, then you're not going to know. And I think the other thing is, we notice people beat themselves up a lot for not knowing what they don't know, and it's like, well, why would you? You don't get educated on this, all right?
You don't know it.
You don't know it, yeah. Like, we know it because we're in the field and we love it. Like we kind of love tracking calories. We're these weird 5% of people that love going to the gym and tracking calories and doing all these things, right? Most people don't. So if you can track and raise that awareness, it's absolutely huge. And yeah, you're right. No one wants to be tracking in 6 months to a year. But if you can do it accurately, it's really beneficial. I always explain it this with my clients, like, and I think it just hits home a little bit easier. Like, imagine you've got like this little pot of money, which is your calories, and you've gone shopping. So you're on a shopping trip. So it's a pot of money, but you're going shopping. You go to Harrods, right? And you're basically just like picking up everything for a couple of hours. Then you go to the then you go to like the till. And they go, it's £10,000, and you're like, but I've only got 2,000. But I've only got 2,000. Whereas if you had something that you know, in the Tesco, you can scan your food as you shop, can't you? So you know how much money you got to spend. Then you go to the till and you go, it's £2,000. You go, cool, there's my credit card. That's basically tracking calories. I can't hear you right now, Adam.
No. Reese is starting to lose her stuff.
But yeah, if you think of it in like money, you've got a certain amount of money. Like if you was on holiday, you've got a certain amount of money to spend. And once you've spent it all, if you spend too much, you're going to go into like debt. You know, if you're going to go over, it's the same as calories, really. You've got a certain amount of calories each day. If you go over, you're gonna put on weight. If you stay just below or even lower, you're going to lose weight over the week. And sometimes just having it in that mindset just helps understand it. Okay, so I've just got to track what I'm spending.
Exactly. No, that's how I word it with my clients. So I don't do it like when they're in the supermarket, but you get an allowance every single day.
Yeah.
So if you go over it, then you're going to gain weight and you're going to go into debt. You know, it's like, whereas like if people want to have like I hate this word, like a treat at the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, like if people want to have a treat at the weekend, okay, cool. So what would you say to your kids? You give them pocket money every day. If you want a treat at the weekend, save up your pocket money for the weekend. And then you can then have it. You know, then you've got an extra bigger allowance at the weekends for you to then enjoy and have whatever you want, but as long as it fits into your allowance.
Yes, we all know weekends are the hardest, don't we? Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, it's but you know, it's like we live two different lives, isn't it? It's like you're a completely different person at the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but that's what it's all about. Again, we just need to bring that awareness to people to see that it's like you are a different person Monday to Friday than you are at the weekend. And
yeah,
it's just
and you
getting that balance. Exactly.
Yeah.
Get that balance.
Yeah,
Again,
that's
a bit like.
Go on.
No, go on.
Yeah, no, I was just that's really important because I think what happens as well when people potentially see fit pros, they think we're like ultra strict, like us with our like eating and food and everything we do. And the reality is like it's not necessarily true. We just
ultra
have some
strict with a stack of pancakes. Yeah,
we just have some non-negotiables in our lives, Monday to Friday, that allow us to relax weekends. And I think they think potentially they're going to come in a program and they have to give up everything they enjoy eating and be in the gym all the time. And the reality is it's just not true, and it's not needed. You don't need to be perfect. Progress over perfection, like all day long. What's going to move the needle forward, as opposed to being perfect, because perfect doesn't work. And then going back to that awareness, once you've got that awareness, you just have those choices. So this choice over here is 400 calories and it's a chocolate muffin. It's going to be delicious. Or I can have eggs on toast, going to be 400 calories, good protein. I'm going to keep fuller for longer. that's probably the better choice. But sometimes have the muffin.
Oh, exactly.
Sometimes have the muffin. It's all right. It's not going to completely ruin your progress. And that's another shift people need to realise as well. Like one bad meal is not going to ruin your progress.
It's not going to ruin it. Exactly.
No.
It's like one bad day. It's like your weight gain over a weekend isn't going to stop your progress if you actually zoom out over the course of a year. So,
yeah, 100%. And it's like going back to what we started at the beginning with. It's a journey. Like you can't. A journey is like that, isn't it? It's not like straight. It's like up and down.
And round in circles sometimes as well.
Yeah, and going back to the beginning sometimes.
Yeah, but that's all part of the journey. Everyone's journey is different. So
yeah. Sometimes you set off and you realise you put your the wrong destination, the sat nav. You have to start again.
Exactly.
But the important thing is, I think, and is having an idea of that destination though, because I think again this is something that's quite eye-opening for a lot of people I speak to. They want to lose weight, and I'm like, "What's your goal then?" And they're like, "I haven't got one." Well, how are you supposed to get to where you want to get to without your goal? And I always say, right, have your goal and then work your way backwards, because it's a bit like setting off on a car journey with no destination to get to. It's going to take a long time to get there. So I think it's really important to have a goal, whatever that is, 20 pounds, have a timeline, and then think about, right, what do I need to do to get there? Because that's, I'm sure you experience as well. The amount of people I speak to, and we're having a conversation like, you got a goal at the moment? No. Right, okay. It's going to be like really difficult to aim for anything without anywhere to aim for.
Yeah, no, exactly. So look, I'm aware that you've got your client soon, so you've got to jump off soon.
Yeah, man.
I'm being honest. I think, like people watching this would have gained a lot of, content, and just another little bit of awareness and understanding about what the difference is between like behaviour change and just generic food plans and workout plans. So, like, what's happening with you? Like, what's happening with you? Like in the summer, you getting away? Like, just switch it up a bit. You getting away at all? Like, what's new? What's exciting? What's happening?
I went away
because I love looking at your photos. By the way, like, I always look at your stories, and it's like you either like at some festival of some sort, or So
I try and balance my life as well as I can, because and this is what I learned quite early, that you've got to manage your energy as a coach, because it can be really draining. You've really got to manage your energy well, because you do take on quite a lot from people. So unless you're managing your energy well, you can't give energy for everyone else. So I try and be as balanced as I can. So beach walks, obviously gym sessions, taking time away from the laptop. So I never wanted to be someone that sat behind a laptop. That was like, as a younger, that'd be like almost like my worst nightmare. But now it's different. It's cool. Like, I love it. But I still try and take time away from my laptop. So Lanzarote was 3 months ago now, so I'm trying to hold on to the tan. Like, luckily it's been nice recently.
I know you're glowing.
And then I'm off to a festival next weekend, actually, Secret Garden Party, which is a little bit out there apparently. So I'm sure I'll update you with some pictures and some videos.
Yeah, I'll be seeing those stories. Yeah.
And I'm going to wrap up the summer in Ibiza at the end of September.
Oh, cool.
So the key to that is like I say, balance. We as fit pros, we live. Because that's the other thing. It's like, and I had something to do message me the other day, or comment on saying, it's like, are your clients still allowed to eat chips? Do they have a life? And I was like,
have a life. No, you've got to become a hermit.
I know, it's crazy though, but I think that's eye-opening though, because I think that can genuinely be the perception. And just one last point before we do go. I think going back to sort of like behaviour change, I think for me the fundamental difference is it is actually changing behaviours. It's actually what it says in the title: behaviour change and lifestyle change. Whereas I think diet plans and maybe seeing a trainer or just following a certain program for a period of time doesn't really get the depth and the shifts. Because I think, and we know this, it's the person that has to change. And I think clients see that. It's like, I know now it's me. I've got myself to this position. I've got to accept responsibility. And I think when that happens, the behaviours change and the mindset changes and everything that goes into that. So I think that's probably the most powerful thing. It's all about the individual.
Nice one. Cool.
Dude, I could talk about this like all day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, like in some ways, I was like quite pleased when you said you got a client at 9. So I was going to just keep it short and sweet. Otherwise, I'm going to be here all day, and it's going to be like, I'll be like, I've forgotten Blake from his nursery. So yeah, we'll be getting phone calls from.
I've got kids.
Yeah, where's Blake? Where's Blake? Oh yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, forgot about that. So yeah, cool. All right then, Michael. Well, honestly, like, really pleased to have you jump on to Coffee and Chats. I know Kels she's still talking to her client over there. So I know, she will. But probably have to get you on again, so it'll be the 3 of us at some point. But yeah, mate, take it easy. And we'll, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome. Like I say, I loved it. I could talk about this all day.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Take it easy.
Cheers, man.